Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting journey into the world of charter troubleshooting. Today we've got one of the most important presentations that we're going to go over, so I hope everybody's ready to learn about charter email. So when we support email, we're going to look at a few basic components. One would be provisioning email accounts. We've got third-party client support, server configuration settings, and most importantly, using our webmail server. Provisioning in Aurora. Email can be provisioned by a charter employee in Aurora. The Services tab displays email information. You can add or delete email accounts. You can reset passwords. Just make sure that before you do that, you have the customer verify the account information. Either the account number or the last 4 digits of the social are required on the account. Also, make sure that a parent email address is set. You can check that by looking at this little box right here. Make sure that one of them is specified to be the parent account. Otherwise, it's not going to let you change anything. Provisioning in Member Services. That's update.charter.com. This is a great site because it lets the customer actually log in on their end and make whatever changes they need, so they don't have to call us every time and sit through that queue just to make a change. A customer can log in to the website update.charter.com and make whatever changes they need. They can add or delete email addresses. They can reset their own passwords on their own. So how big are the accounts? It's a good question. The 384 package includes up to 5 email accounts with the whopping size of 1 GB storage for each and every account. Now the 3 meg, 5 meg, and 10 megabyte packages all include up to 10 email accounts, and each of those do have a gigabyte of storage. So that's a lot of space, especially if you've got a family. Every single one of those email accounts has 1 gig of storage. It's great. They also come with 3 cheese keys. Now I'm not talking about the cheese that you eat. I'm talking about the Charter High-Speed Security Suite, people. I'm also talking about 20 megabytes of web space for every single person who uses that 3 meg account. Webmail versus third-party clients. What are the differences? Well, that's a good question. Webmail is actually our server, our email server that we support. We have 24/7 access, and we do actually troubleshoot webmail. It's a web-based email client. The customer logs on to it either by going to charter.net and clicking the check mail button, or you can go to mail.charter.net, which takes you to the exact same place, and it lets them enter their username and their password to log in. Now, an email client works a little bit differently. It's actually a program on the customer's computer, and it could be a program such as Microsoft Outlook would be the most common. You might also encounter a Mozilla platform, or Macintosh has their own platforms. And it actually downloads the emails off of our server onto the customer's computer. Configuring email clients. What do we provide as far as configuring email clients? Well, we'll provide incoming and outgoing server settings, which we'll get into a little bit later. We'll provide the username and password, which the customer will be using on the Charter server. We will disable any firewalls and antivirus programs that might be blocking the customer from being able to check their email. We'll provide customer education documents, and again, those documents are all available to you on CCI. You can email those to the customer. We also have third-party telephone numbers on CCI and KMS, which will help you get the customer pointed in the right direction to fix their problem. What do we not provide? We will never, ever, ever provide step-by-step walkthroughs for any third-party client. We will not remove or recreate accounts in these programs. We will not repair or reinstall email client software. We do not fix attachment issues in third-party clients, and we will not set up any identities. Server settings. This is what I was talking about earlier. If a customer calls in wanting their incoming mail server settings, this is what you give them. Write this down. pop.charter.net is our incoming server. It uses port 110. Now, outgoing mail server is smtp.charter.net. And that sounds like it would be hard to remember, but I remember it this way. SMTP, sending mail to people. Pretty easy, right? It uses port 25. And other email addresses such as bob@chartermi.net would have the same server information for both incoming and outgoing. For example, mail.chartermi.net would be the server for chartermi.net, or they might have mail.chartertn.net if they use chartertn.net as their email address. Troubleshooting email clients. This is where it gets fun. First, you've got to identify the issue, obviously. What error message are they getting? You want to check for connectivity. You want to check for RF. Can they surf to www.charter.net? If so, they're probably online. You want to disable any firewalls or any antivirus software that might be blocking their internet connection. You want to give the customer their server settings, which we just went over. And you want to use mail.charter.net to verify that the username and the address are valid. Email migration. If the customer moved, say the email address is connected to an old account, you want to go ahead and verify that the new billing account is up to date in the billing system. And if it is, you can submit to the escalation team. Now let's say that an email address shows up on someone else's account. I know that sounds like a one-off issue, but it does happen from time to time, and here's how you deal with it. You want to get proof of ownership, which means you have to go a little bit further in depth in your troubleshooting, and you have to get a release from the owner of the other account. And then you have to open up a lead chat or submit that to your escalation team to get that problem fixed. Now let's say an account is orphaned. This actually does happen quite frequently. If Aurora says that the email address exists, but when you search for the address, it doesn't return any valid account, that email address is probably orphaned. It doesn't have a home. It doesn't know who it belongs to. Now here's how you fix that. You're going to have to get proof of ownership again. You're going to have the customer email you a document that has headers or their current password. And then you're going to have to take that to your lead team or to your escalation team so that they can resolve that issue. And when in doubt, always, always, always check your policies and procedures in KMS. Using webmail. This is a great tool. I use it myself at home. You should use it just to figure out how it works. Go ahead and log into your Charter webmail. Go to mail.charter.net in your browser. You can enter your full Charter email address in the provided field. Make sure that they're using the @charter.net, because if they don't enter that, it won't let them log in. Go ahead and enter your password, and passwords are case sensitive. And then click the login button, and it should let you log in. Now, how do you check for new mail in webmail? Once you've successfully logged in, it'll take you to a tab where you can compose new mail, or you can check for new emails in your inbox. How do you read webmail? Well, just like any other program, you can just click on the subject line of the email and it will let you read that email. Once you've opened up the email, which we've shown you right here, you've got buttons at the top which include reply, reply all, which replies to every single person that mail was sent to. You can forward to other people. You can delete the email if you don't want it anymore. Or you could use the Move To button, which lets you move the message to a different folder. You can use the detail feature for more information about the email, such as the headers. You can use the report as spam feature to block that sender from sending you any more email if it's an unwanted email message. You can use the printable view feature if you want to print it, but you don't want to have all this extra stuff on the page. You can view the prior email in the inbox by clicking previous and view the email that was right before that one. You can view the next email by clicking the next button. Add email addresses to the customer's email address book or block a sender by clicking on this little guy right here. You can download an attachment and save it to the customer's computer. And that's at the bottom of your email. To remove a message. If you want to remove a message from your inbox, because those add up pretty quickly and you do have to clean it out sometimes. I know 1 gig is a lot of space, but I promise you'll have to clean it out every now and then. To remove a message, simply check mark the box beside of the email and go ahead and click that button that says delete. That will get that message out of your inbox. Some other options, because we're full of options on webmail. Mark as. The mark feature allows you to mark the email as read or unread. Even if you haven't read it, you can say that you read it. And if it's an email that you know you're never going to read, that you just want to get out of there, go ahead and mark it as read. Move to lets you move the email to a subfolder. So you can create an email just for emails that your grandma has been sending you, and you can move all of her emails into that little subfolder. Report as spam. This feature actually didn't exist in old versions. We've just created this to help you guys prevent spam emails because nobody likes getting 1,000 emails of spam a day. Message navigation. Once the limit for the amount of emails displayed is reached, customers can actually navigate back and forth through multiple screens by clicking these next and previous arrows. So how do you write an email? Well, just simply click on the Compose button at the top of the screen on your Mail tab, and when you're done, just click that Send button in the upper left or in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and that will send the message to whoever you've selected to send it to. Now there's some other Compose options I need to tell you about. Save Draft allows you to save the draft of the email that you're working on and keep working on it later. So say you've got your email all typed up and ready to go, and then your boss calls, and it's urgent, and you've got to step away from your computer. Just save it. You can go back to it later. You can also save a copy of the outgoing message, and customers can actually request a return receipt so they know when that person received their message. Priority allows you to classify the emails when sent as low, normal, or high, so it lets you tell the person how important this email is that you're getting ready to send to them. You can also add attachments, so say you want to send some photos of the grandkids to your relatives. Go ahead and add an attachment. You can send pictures, you can send videos, you could even send links to websites. Graphical Compose mode. One of the best things about webmail is that it's graphically based. It's not all written up in code. You can actually click on the pictures that you want, and you can insert HTML code into your email, so you can give them different colored fonts, pictures, really exciting stuff. Now this does require an ActiveX control, so the customer has to have a Java plugin installed on their computer for this to work. If they don't have that, then you can look near the top of the customer's browser in the address line to see if the ActiveX control has been blocked. It's possible that a firewall might be blocking it. Just go ahead and click on the warning message and choose to continue with the installation. To compose with the graphical editor, the default selection to compose a graphical message is plain text because, believe it or not, some email programs don't support graphical mode. Some of the great features that we include in this graphical mode are multiple font types. You can use any kind of font, color, format. You can cut, you can copy, you can paste. You can insert hyperlinks, links to your favorite websites. You can use emoticons, those fun little happy faces, sad faces, signatures on your email so that you don't have to type your name out every time, it'll remember it. And you can click on Compose as plain text in the graphical editor if you don't want to use all that, if it's too much for you. Now the Addresses tab. Clicking the Addresses tab allows your customers to view existing entries. You can sort your different addresses alphabetically. You can create a new contact if there's someone you want to send an email to. You could create a new group of people, so if you want to send an email to everyone that you work with, just put them all in that group. You could import an existing address book from Outlook or from another program. You can export your Charter webmail address book to Outlook or to a different third-party program. And you can also search for an address. If you can't remember Aunt Sally's email address, just go ahead and search for her. More address book options. You have groups, which is actually a new feature of webmail. It wasn't available in earlier editions. Using groups, you can actually divide your contact list into different groups. Like I was saying, if you don't want to email them all individually, just send an email to everybody at once. You can import an address book, and to do that, just click the Import button under the Addresses tab and find the file extension of an address book. The file extension itself is CSV. And some of the programs that we can import from include Outlook, Outlook Express, Palm Desktop, Netscape, pretty much all of your main programs. To export, just click the Export button under your Addresses tab, and export and import pretty much work for the same address book types. Address search. To search for an address, again, just click the Search button under the Addresses tab. Editing address entries, because yes, you can go back and edit them if you make a mistake. Customers can edit an entry's information just by clicking on the name of the entry. Pretty simple, right? And deleting address entries. If you decide that you don't want to be friends with someone for whatever reason, just go ahead and delete the entry by checking the box next to the entry and then selecting from the drop-down menu the delete option. Mail settings have multiple options for customers so they can customize their email. This is similar to the options link in the old webmail interface. Just click the mail settings link and you can customize general settings. You can save the customer's time zone, which is really cool. You can change the customer's password composition preferences. You can update the address book settings. You can change the number of entries per page. So let's say a customer calls in and says, man, I want to show 100 emails per page instead of just 10. That's how you do it. You can delete all of the entries in the address book if they've got too many entries. Messages. Let's say they want to personalize their webmail preferences. You can do that. You can change their signature block. You can change their vacation message if they're going on vacation. You can update the family mailbox. You can change parental controls. You can do mail management, which includes mail message features. You've got email forwarding, external email links, return receipts, junk mail filtering, email blocking, privacy preferences. You can search for an address book entry. So many options in webmail, so little time. General settings. Again, you can change the customer's time zone. This is where you go under General, click on Time Zone, and you can set the customer's time zone so that all of their emails show the correct date and time. You can change their password. You will get customers calling in asking, how do I change my password in webmail? That's how they do it. Just go under General, click on Change Password. Pretty simple stuff. Personalization. You can go to Preferences and edit the customer's mailbox preferences. For example, you can include message handling and display options. You can change their mail signature, so if they don't want to type out their name at the end of every email, they can just set it up to have an automatic signature on every email. You can add a vacation message, so if they're going on vacation, they can have a message that automatically tells people that. Family mailbox administration. You can set up a new mailbox by clicking on the new mailbox link, and this will automatically launch an additional browser that directs the customers to member services, which again is update.charter.com. Parental controls. This column displays if the parental control is being applied to a sub-account. And the quota in use. This shows the amount of space that each account is using, so the customer can check and make sure that none of their accounts are going over the limits. Parental controls. You've got a couple different options here that we're getting ready to go over. You've got junk, allowed senders and domains, blocked senders and domains, blocked mail actions, and other mail. Mailbox management. Mailbox management section has the following options. Message filters, which define message filtering conditions. You've got forwarding, which defines email forwarding addresses and preferences. You've got external mail, which defines external accounts from which the customer is getting email. Return receipts defines those return receipts which let the customer check and see if that person read that email. Junk mail automatically deletes or filters junk email or unwanted email. You can allow and block messages. And you've also got privacy settings that allow the customer to set their own message privacy preferences. Message filters. If the customer wants to set up message filters, go ahead and have them click on the message filters link, and that will let them define the filtering conditions. Customers do have the following options under message filters. They have a new filter button, which lets them create or define a new filter. And they've got filter management, which lets them enable and prioritize the filters that they've already created. Customers have the following options under the forwarding link. You can forward an address and just have them enter the email address that they want to forward incoming mail to. Or you've got forwarding rules, which just like in Outlook or any third-party program, they can create rules, they can disable forwarding, they can forward and keep a copy, they can forward and then discard. There's a lot of different options that the customers have. Junk mail. Now what do I mean by junk mail? I mean that unwanted email that you don't want to keep around. Customers actually have the option under junk email. They can either filter or delete incoming junk email. They can create a folder that says junk that automatically sends those emails to their junk folder. They can add an X header, which actually indicates text mail to be delivered, they can use the inbound junk mail indicator text field to trigger junk mail based on the words in the email. So if it's got a word that they don't like, it's going to go to that box. They can also prefix the mail subject with the indicator text and deliver, just using the inbound junk mail indicator to trigger junk in mail filtering based on the verbiage. Again, unwanted words, send that email to that box. They can allow and block messages, another neat control that we have in webmail. Customers have the option to allow senders and domains, so they can add a particular email address or a particular domain, such as AOL.com, Yahoo.com. They can block entire domains. They can block specific senders. So if there's a particular person that they don't want to be able to email them, they can add that email address right there. They can block mail actions, so they can choose what happens to those emails that they are blocking in webmail. And they can also enable blocking. So you can enable it, but if you don't want to block any messages, you can also disable email blocking. The address book, one of my favorite parts of webmail. Under the address book, customers can use the following options. You can choose the number of entries per page, or you can delete all of the entries at one time. Entries per page lets the customer set the number of entries that are going to display on a page. So if they want 100 per page or 10 per page, that's up to them. Customers have the following options under the entries per page link. The number of entries per page is the number of entries, again, that shows up on the page. Just select the number that they want and click OK. If you want to delete all entries, if you don't want to go through and delete every single one, you just want to wipe them all out, just go ahead and check the box next to delete all entries and then click OK. The only thing with doing that is that once that address has been deleted, we cannot go back and recover it. So make sure the customer understands that. Just a few notes about webmail. The session does time out after 50 minutes. So if they're sitting in their mailbox for 2 hours and they try to click on a link, it's probably not going to work. The customer's username is, again, the full email address. So if they call in and they say that they're not able to log into webmail, make sure that they are typing their full email address at charter.net, not just the login. Always, always, always verify the account information before you make any changes in Aurora. That's on every call, not just webmail calls. And please refer to KMS for walkthroughs or support parameters for webmail or any program on Charter. Customer self-help options, because they don't always have to call you guys, they can actually help themselves out a little bit. You can always send the customer push documents from CCI. You can also send them from KMS if you log into KMS. Set the customer area first, then click on the knowledge base link. After you do that, click on your high-speed data, or HSI actually. Choose from customer education documents, or you can send them to support.charter.com, so they can pull that right up in Internet Explorer. There's knowledge-based articles, we've got automated solutions, we've even got live technical support chat teams that will talk to the customer over the computer. And you can create your Charter.net account and use the webmail yourself, and I recommend doing that just so that you can see how it works. Email support parameters. What do we support with email? We've got all features and functions of Charter's webmail interface. If they call regarding webmail, I don't care what it is, we support it. Server settings, we will disable firewalls, antivirus to make sure that the problem's on our end. Sometimes firewalls will block the customer from being able to access their email. Customer educational instructional materials. What that means is we can actually send push documents to the customer if we've got a document on that particular field. Voice interactive IVR walkthroughs where available. And we also offer customers positive guidance regarding what the company should be contracted for support on issues, URLs, or phone numbers. That's all on CCI. Now, what do we not support? We do not support troubleshooting connectivity using steps such as removing or recreating accounts in third-party programs. So if they call in wanting you to take their email address out of Outlook Express, we don't do that. Repairing, reinstalling Outlook or third-party mail clients, sorry guys, we will never do that. Correcting attachment issues. Again, in third-party programs, they will beg and plead with you to try to get you to do that. Do not go outside of your support parameters for that. setting up accounts and identities within other accounts. Again, that's a big no-no. Make sure that you're not doing that. Any questions? I know that this has been a lot of information and you guys have had to learn a lot at once here, so if you've got any questions, please, please, please ask your trainer or feel free to go through this video again. Thank you for taking the time again today to learn about webmail, and if you've got any questions, be sure to ask.